the causeless cause, and the rootless root. Islam,
Islam.
incomprehensible, the author, creator, and governor of the world. Islam, Islam. I also like to extend honors to Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the forerunner of our prophet, Noble Jew Ali. Marcus Garvey came to give us race pride.
That's right.
Right? He said, up, you might erase and accomplish what you will, which means he also gave us some financial guidance as well, right? Because he told us to get up because we upright, fearless, and independent, right? Islam. So also I like to extend honors to our prophet, Noble Jew Ali, who came to give us our divine creed and nationality, and also to teach us to be ourselves. Islam.
Islam.
Last but not least, I like to give honors to all divine prophets, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, and Brother Man Jesus. Islam. I like to extend honors to you all, because when man honors man, he honors a lot. And I like to extend honors to everything Moorish. Islam?
Islam.
Islam. So, again, happy Friday. So I'm going to do some traveling as well, right? So, I guess we all kind of been in that wilderness this week. Islam? So first I'm going to go to, let's see, page 45. So page 45 is basically going over the instructions of the soul of man, right? So when we're dealing with the soul of man, we're dealing with the actions and not its essence, right?
That's right.
And we understand that the actions is the thinking, the understanding, the reasoning, the willing, right? So when I'm going through these chapters, I'm like, okay, well, what is this? So I had to flip back because I was in my wilderness. So that meant I was dealing with a devil, right? So I had to go to my questionnaire, and I was like, okay, well, what title does Satan give himself?
God.
And the answer to that is God, right?
That's right.
Because that's what he called himself, God.
Islam.
And then I had to skip over to 74, and it said, what did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met him? And
Where are
he
you
said,
going, Satan?
Where are you going, Satan?
That's right.
And his answer to the lower self gave to the higher self was, I'm going to and fro the earth, seeking whom I may devour. So I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. So who we talking about? Who is this Satan? Okay, well, Satan falls under the descendants of Adam and Eve, right? So that's that LSDDB, that Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast, right? So that's that lower self demonstration. So I'm saying to myself, okay, so what does this mean? So I skipped over, and I had to go into the chapter where we discussing Jesus being in the wilderness. Islam?
Islam.
Because we know that purity paved the way. So before any purity takes place, you got to go through your wilderness, right? So I'm going through my wilderness, and I'm like, okay. So the divine ministry of Jesus goes to the wilderness for self-examination, where he remains for 40 days. He is subject to 3 temptations he overcomes. Islam? Because he overcame them. He returns to the camps of John and began teaching, because we know in order for him to get out here and do the mighty work that he was called to do, he had to go and purify himself.
That's right.
So a lot of times, sometimes us Moorish Americans, us Muslims, we think because we may have some sort of comprehension over the Quran that we can go out and we can give certain types of lessons to individuals, but we ain't dealt with ourselves. So then that's that truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Because of course, once you, like you say, brother, take yourself off them, your eyes off them footsteps, then it's possible you can get off track. And when you begin to get off track, that's when we have a community of individuals that's off track, because now you have that Satan up there giving that information and not even realizing that they Satan, right? Because he or she called themselves God. Islam?
Islam.
So it says the harbinger had paved the way. The logos had been introduced to men as love made manifest. And he must now begin his divine ministry. Islam?
Islam.
So he knew he had to begin his ministry. So ministry begins with self. Islam?
Islam. That's right.
So I'm like, okay, so he began his ministry at that point. It didn't say that he went to speak to somebody else. It said he began his ministry right then and there. So it says he went forth into the wilderness to be alone with Allah, that he may look into his inner heart and know the strength and worthiness. So what's his inner heart? We know that we're not talking about these feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about them actions. We're talking about their mind. So he had to look into his consciousness, into his mind.
That's right.
Where those actions take place. Islam?
Islam. That's right, sister.
And with himself he taught. Islam, it says, and with himself he taught.
That's right. That's right.
He said, my lower self is strong. By many ties I am bound to carnal life. Islam? So we bound to carnal life.
Mm.
He knew that though, right? But it's the book of love. It's the book of truth. It's the book of honesty, because it's the book of self. Right?
That's right.
So it says, perfected man in chapter 1 must pass through all ways of life.
That's right.
And so a carnal nature was full manifest, and the nature sprang forth from fleshly things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. And though must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so this carnal nature became a foe that man must fight. Islam?
That's right.
So that means he knew that this was a foe.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're talking about Jesus, because a lot of people like to interpret that this was an individual who just came about to be perfect, right? But we understand that this individual made a choice to be perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have decisions, and that goes back to what? Those attributes. So we choose to make the choices that we make every day. So even when we come in here on Fridays, or we come in on Sundays, and we're like, oh, I'm Muslim, and then you go out here and you want some falsehood, or you cuss the brother and the sister out up the street, but have you really dealt with yourself? Islam? So then it says, have I the strength to overcome and give my life a willing sacrifice for men?
Mm-hmm.
That's a powerful statement.
Mm-hmm.
That's a question, as a matter of fact.
That's right.
That was a question mark.
Yeah.
Because again, he's talking to himself. Have I the strength to overcome and give my life a willing sacrifice for men? Do I have that strength? Because we know we're dealing with individuals who still in their lower selves, right? Because we still in our lower self, because right now we're in this wilderness. So if I'm in my lower self, then I know you in your lower self. So do I have the strength to deal with you and me? Islam? Am I willing to give my life as a willing sacrifice for men? Because that means I'm carrying your burdens and mine. Islam?
Selfless.
Selfless. Because we have to love and not demand love in return, because that's what the prophet said,
That's
right?
the demo.
That's the demo. So regardless to how hard you may think things are, that's your responsibility, because guess what? That's how that ministry begins. Islam. When I shall stand before the face of men, and they demand of my messiahship, what will I say? Because now I'm talking to myself. So now if I'm telling you about how great this great God of the universe is, this great God Allah is, and how if you just get your life right, these things will happen there, you gonna tell me, well, Durden, but man, you struggling like me. You got issues like me. So am I to show you by performing some sort of act or deed? Because now I'm getting on that folly. Islam? Now I'm getting on that falsehood. That brings me to a story, because I was watching some stuff about some religious cults this week. I was speaking with the brother Smith Bay about. And I ran into one, and the organization, I can't remember, but at the end of it said Moors. Islam? Because we understand that is the name, the true name to what we identify as. So we understand that whereas this brother wasn't talking about the Moorish Science Temple of America, it could have got misunderstood because of the information that he was giving. Islam? Because he was in his low. Islam? He started off in the right place, but they all got to a place where they started to have to prove and show things. You know what I'm saying? Because now I want to gain my audience, and I want to keep them. So guess what I'm telling them? This is the end, and I am the Messiah. Islam? Because that's what they began to tell the people. Because now I'm about to show and prove certain things to you. So boom. But that's falsehood, right? Because I can make up anything because again, I'm that devil and I'm just behind this podium calling myself a God. So I can make falsehood appear to be whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, well, Darnell, stay in your lessons. Islam. And then the tempter came and said, if you be the son of Allah, command these stones to turn to bread. Islam? Nah, I don't gotta do that though. I don't have to do that because guess what? Like you said earlier, vanity is beyond them all.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to prove anything. But right now I'm still wrestling with myself because I know our people sometimes require tests.
That's right.
Because they've been let down so many times. You have to prove a thing to them because we've been lied to. We've been led astray, if you will. So now they want proof that the Moorish Science Temple of America is what it is. How do we do that? Character. Islam. Islam. And Jesus said, who is it that demands a test? I believe he was the only one in the wilderness. Islam. I believe he said he was talking to himself. So the only person who demanded a test was self. Islam.
Mm-hmm.
Because we understand that we have to go through all ways of life.
That's
Islam. Right. To become perfected man. So these are just simply tests. We just never know what package they may come in. Islam. It is no sign that one is a son of Allah because he does a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
And the devil can do mighty things. Woo! The devil can do mighty things. I think that's what the questionnaire told us because he said he called himself God. Islam? Because man and truth and falsehood, what? Strangely mixed. But Allah is in every man. Islam? Instruction 8 says, did not the Gentile musicians do great things before the Pharaoh? Now you get to question yourself. Well, Smith Bay did it. Well, such and such did it. Islam? Well, such and such got up there and they spoke about this or they said this about such. So now, you know what I'm saying? You wrestling with yourself to give it a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like now you're saying, okay, well, I can do this. It says, my words and my deeds in all walks of life shall be proof of my messiahship, character.
That's
Islam.
That's it.
Because now he's talking to himself, but now he's building character. Because he's saying, I don't need all that.
That's right.
I don't need the fancy cars. I don't need the fancy garbs. I don't need to turn stones into bread. Like my character gonna show up. My messiahship, how I speak to people, how I save people, how I love people. Because we know that the only savior of the world is love.
That's right.
So my love for my brethren or my sister is basically my messiahship. So is that not proof of Allah? Is that not proof enough that Allah and man are one? Because of my love for you, my brother or my sister? And then the tempter said, if you will go into Jerusalem and from the temple pinnacle cast down yourself to earth, the people will believe you are the Messiah sent from Allah. So basically he's telling him, just go jump off the building. You an angel. You can fly. Just go jump, Darnell. They'll believe you then. Islam. That's not character though. Because now here I am again having to prove my messiahship to you when it should just be seen through my works. This you can surely do. For did not David say, he gives the angels charge concerning you, and with their hands will they uphold lest you shall fall? So this is a question. Well, don't you got the angels protecting you? They gonna catch you. So how can you fall? How can you nothing? Just go ahead and jump. You're talking to yourself now because again, we understand that this individual knew from the moment they were here and they stepped into this wilderness because my ministry started and I got a mighty task because purity already came through. You know what I'm saying? Like purity came through like, hey, look, I did my job. I'm waiting on you now. So now you got to go and do self-examination because we know throughout the time of John the Baptist, he was basically self-examining as well because he said nothing until it was time for him to speak when he heard that small, still voice. Islam? And Jesus said, I would not tempt the Lord, my God, Allah. And then the tempter said, look forth upon the world. Behold its honors and its fame. Behold its pleasures and its wealth. Now he's saying, well, look at all the things that you can have. If you just get out there and show them who you are, you can have all these things. So that goes back to these particular segments I was watching. Did they not begin to get greedy? People begin to sell their houses and all these things. And the prophet give us clear instructions in Act 1. Islam, before acting upon by any member, let it be. That's Islam.
Islam.
So that tells you if you're not in the right place, you can't go out and stand in front of a group of people and then take their income. Islam? That's the same thing that the brother was saying.
That's right.
Islam, I can't do that to my people. I'm not going to get up here and prove some things so they can start worshiping me because I'm not the one. I'm just here to tell you about the one.
Just the messenger.
I'm just the messenger. I'm just here to tell you, yo, love instead of hate.
That's it.
Islam? If you will give your life to these, they shall be yours. If you will give your life to these, they shall be yours. So who is these they talk? What's these? These material things?
That's right.
Because you can't be talking about the people because the people don't want nothing from you. Islam, they want you. They don't want what you can bring. They don't want your fancy cars and your garbs and all these old good things and your nice pendants and such. They want you. Islam?
Islam.
But Jesus said, away from me all tempting thoughts.
My heart is fixed.
So who he was talking to? Because he said tempting thoughts, not
That's
tempting
right.
snake, not
That's
tempting
right.
person, not
There
tempting
it is.
thing, not tempting grass, not tempting wood, not tempting rocks, not tempting trees. He did not, he said thoughts.
Tempting thoughts.
And your
That's
thoughts
it.
are within you.
That's it.
Islam?
That's it.
So that means he was wrestling with that soul. He was wrestling with them thoughts because that's what the actions take place because this is not the essence.
That's it.
Islam?
That's the demo.
Islam. My heart is fixed. I scorn this carnal self with all its vain ambition and its pride. Carnal self is prideful? What you mean? How can that carnal self be prideful? I mean, it can be because it tells you to not raise your soul too high.
That's right.
Islam, because if you raise it too high, then they go to pride. But it also say don't drop it too low.
That's
so
right.
you got to be a lukewarm, like a happy medium.
That's right.
So that's why we got to keep the compass. That's why we gotta keep those workshops. You know what I'm saying? We gotta keep them because that's gonna keep us at a happy medium. Like you say, brother, you can't just sit on some wood. It's gonna hurt. Islam. You gotta make sure you smooth that thing out.
That's
because
right.
my yoni boxes look real good. But if they wasn't sanded down and polished up real nice and had a good clear coat on there, Islam, who gonna sit on them? Without getting up and hurting themselves. Islam? So that means you gotta smooth that demo out. Because you can be in the law.
That's right.
You can make your meetings. You can be on your calls. You can go to all the events. You can have on your turban and your fez. You can have on your pins and your buttons. But is it everything else? Is it smoothed out?
Use that plane. That's right.
Is everything the way it should be? Because it looks like it, but is it really what it is? Islam? Because if you're not at least at some point in time or another in your life going back to examine yourself, then there's a problem. Because we all have to self-examine. Islam? It says for 40 days did Jesus wrestle with his carnal self. His higher self prevailed. Islam? He then was hungry, but his friends had found him and they ministered to him. Ministered, wait a minute, but he was hungry. When you're hungry, you think you should eat. Right? Because I've been in this wilderness for 40 days. It didn't say they fed him. It didn't say they had a feast. It said they ministered to him. Did he not at the beginning of this chapter say, and now he must begin his divine ministry? So even after coming out this wilderness, they was like, oh, brother, we don't have no real sympathy for you. You got to show, come on, let's go. Islam, we're going to minister to you. Because I was made aware when I was saying I was hungry that a man that can't suppress his appetite can't control his desires if he can't control his appetite. So he still didn't eat. Or did he eat wisdom? Did he eat truth? Did he eat something else when he came out of that 40 days? And then it says, and then Jesus left the wilderness. And then the consciousness of holy bread. Islam was holy bread. Truth. So in the consciousness of truth.
Islam.
So that went back to what you said, brother. When man himself knows that he's true, that was what, fruition? On that last step?
That's it.
Islam.
Islam.
And he came into the camps of John and taught. Islam.
Islam.
So that means after I went through my 40 days and my 40 nights, and I done understood what I needed to do, and I done beat my lower self this time, because it's gonna come back. Islam, especially if you ain't keeping that compass, it might roll back through, but it's like, oh, okay, I'm on my mission now, I'm ready. Because you done got you together. Islam. So my message tonight is self-examination. Islam, self-examination. Just like every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, we got to get our oil checked. After so many times, you got to go and get a physical. Islam, we should do the same thing with our soul. We should do the same thing with our spirit. We should do the same thing with our bodies. Islam, we should go into the wilderness. We should fast and make sure that we're truly making it a part in every part. To understand and to know that we're truly inside of the law. Islam, to understand and to know that truly we are propagating the correct message. And it's not just what I think and what I feel. Islam, and what it should be and what it is, which is truth. Because we know that that's all. Islam. And with that, I come in love and I leave you all in peace.
Peace and love, sister.
Islam?
Say they love me, I'm from Texas. Yeah. I know they love me, I'm from Texas.